Hi everybody. Phil, can you just confirm that my PowerPoint is viewable?
We can. It's not in presentation mode yet, but we can see it.
Okay, here goes.
Perfect.
Okay, thanks for being here, everybody. As Phil mentioned, I'm specifically going to talk about Blackboard Ally today, and also you might see some of the messaging that we've seen from Oxford and other institutions today about tools and about inclusivity and accessibility. We'll be seeing kind of a lot about that again, but within Blackboard Ally um, as a tool itself. So I'm from the University of South Wales, just to give you a little bit of background. I'm a digital education partner. So yeah, my day-to-day has become inclusivity, accessibility, and we're working with tools such as Panopto, Blackboard Ultra at the moment. So that's the one that I'm going to talk about today, Allies integration in that. So we'll have a look at the tool. I've said tools because I'll explain why in a few minutes. The benefits, the challenge that we had at the University of South Wales and the solution that we took to move forward and what we'd like to look at in the future. So these are the main points that we'll see in the session today. So Blackboard Ally, as you may or may not know, is a built-in accessibility checker that's built into Blackboard Ally. However, if you use Canva and Moodle, there are also plugins, so you can actually access this tool via other VLEs as well. You can see there at the bottom right-hand side of the screen, during COVID, Ally actually was available online. So without a VLE, you could just type into the URL bar. It was ally.ac/COVID-19 forward slash. It's a shame that they've stuck with that name and they haven't updated that, but it is still usable if you want to give it a go. So it's an accessibility checker, but it's also a file transformer. So let's have a look at the benefits for academic staff. At the University of South Wales, I am working in the Centre for the Enhancement of Learning and Teaching, and we are staff facing. So we support academic staff and professional services staff with digital learning, whether that be on Blackboard or with other tools. So what does Ally do for academics and how does it benefit academics? So in general, it promotes inclusivity. And if we think of all this as connected and not separate things, we've got inclusivity, therefore improving learning and teaching. And in general, what we want to do and what the tool allows us to do is raise awareness of digital accessibility as well. It's surprising how many of us take things for granted because we've never had to use specific tools, accessible assistive technology. We've never had to think about some of the issues that students and staff can face if they have a disability. So the thing about Ally, it's not just for students with disabilities. Anybody can use it. And it's got some very nice features, such as the ones you can see on the screen. First of all, it personalizes learning, creates that enjoyment, creates that connection and belonging to your module, to your course. We know that a lot of students are working, they might have family commitments, and therefore they don't have time to log in, they don't have the resources, they don't have the correct device. We know that digital poverty is a thing. Students are trying to study on their mobile phones. So what can we do to help them? Blackboard Ally, as I say, it's a file transformer, so students can download alternative formats, for example, MP3s. If you are a student who's commuting to university or commuting to the workplace, you can actually download a document, a Word document, for example, and that can be transformed into an MP3. So therefore, learning on the go. If we mention then reducing barriers for all, how can we do that with Blackboard Ally? So anytime a student goes to my module, I've uploaded my learning materials into the VLE. The student can view the learning materials, they can view the Word document or the PDF, or they might choose, they might prefer, or they might need to download an alternative format. We've got translation, so that's in I'd say over 100 languages if I'm just visualizing the list in my head. So that's a translated version. That is machine translated, so we do have to be careful there. But the effectiveness has been quite good. The testing that we have been able to do has been successful. Electronic Braille, you might have heard of BRF. So if a student needs electronic Braille, it's quite a difficult one to test because I myself don't have the software or the equipment to test this. EPUB, so this is downloadable for ebooks. If you're using an iPad or other ebooks, an EPUB will allow you to read on that device. Immersive Reader. So what this does, it opens up the document as in a different format, and it allows students to highlight words and word types for reading comprehension, grammar comprehension. You can actually put a background on the words, change the colour of the words, and so on. So whether that's a student who doesn't speak English as a first language, or if that's a neurodiverse student, they can benefit from the immersive reader. Likewise, the HTML version, also known as Beeline Reader, that will open up the document in HTML in an internet tab. And what this does, it allows students with really weak bandwidth who may not have a strong internet connection, they can still view this. And it also offers things like dark reading mode. You can change the colours of the text, so it allows easier reading as well for students. I know that we're mentioning students, but our staff, of course, can also benefit. These alternative formats are great. The concept is great. However, Blackboard Ally is just a tool. It only gives as good as it gets. So we still have to remember to be inclusive by design from the very beginning. Because if that Word document is badly formatted, if that Word document doesn't have headers, the structure is not right for screen readers. For example, a student who downloads that into an alternative format, it still may not make sense for them. So we know then, going back to the point of personalisation, it is a significant factor associated with well-being in study. Okay, so all in all, we're going to have more student retention, better feedback if we're looking at the data, if we're looking at NSS, for example, but more importantly, student satisfaction, well-being, and this is where the deeper learning will happen. Blackboard Ally then, it's built into Blackboard and you can run this on each of your modules, depending on how many modules your course has. You can run it inside of the module and it will give you a quick overview of some of the PDFs, the words, the PowerPoints that need you to fix something. It might be images without alternative text for students with visual impairments or students who use screen readers. It might be contrast issues. Contrast issues and alternative text do seem to be the top issues, and it will give you quick fixes as well. So one of the things that we've seen with our staff at USW is that people don't have time. We don't have time to make the fixes, but there are some quick fixes you can make. This is what the dashboard looks like. You may have seen this already, but on the right-hand side, you can see that there are 13 issues with the easiest issues to fix. And when you click Start, Blackboard Ally will take you through the steps to fix those documents. We can also see documents with the most severe issues, and we can see what type of documents, what type of formats we have there. Where do the issues lie? We also have the institution report. Unfortunately, we don't have the remit or the authority, I suppose, to audit every single module. We can't do that, but what we can do is run a report on an institutional level per academic year, and we can check the accessibility of learning materials in the modules. This is just data, this is just numbers. We do have to take it with a pinch of salt because maybe 2005 has more modules than 2004, or this module has more learning materials than this module. So there are some factors that can affect the data. So just bear that in mind. At the University of South Wales, we realised that only 69% of our learning materials were accessible from 2022 to 2023. We noticed that despite students using Ally, they were downloading alternative formats. They knew about the tool. However, our staff members didn't know about the tool. So lecturers weren't using it, or they were opening the tool but not making fixes. Why? This is what we had to find out. The solution then, we worked on this in 2003. We started in the March. We had to build awareness for staff to allow them to use Blackboard Ally to its fullest potential, and in general raise awareness. So we offered workshops and training for professional services staff as well as academics. We worked with the EDI team, the Equality, Diversity and Inclusion team. We worked with digital mentors, the student union, the library. So there was a lot going on. We had a digital campaign on the screens and a bilingual campaign as well. We're in Wales, so we had that English and Welsh campaign. What were the results of these actions? We were also aiming to build empathy, because as I've said already, the numbers are just numbers. So how can we ensure that learning amongst our academic staff is really taking place? Are they and really understanding what digital accessibility is, and are they really empathizing and thinking about all the possibilities, what students they might have in the future, what students they have now, and all of those challenges that our students might face, such as digital poverty, such as declared or undeclared disabilities. So there's really a wider awareness campaign happening at USW, not just this is Blackboard Ally, the tool, but there's still the wider ongoing campaign about accessibility. In 2023 to 2024, I'm going from March, so March 23 to March 24, we saw massive improvements, really impressive improvements. 75% of learning materials are accessible, not 100%, but small steps. So we've seen a stronger awareness in general from professional services. We actually had a lot of library staff and disability services staff attending our training sessions. So it was really refreshing to see that these professional services groups that we'd liaised with were taking part and quite passionate about learning more about Ally. So we saw an increased confidence and knowledge around Ally. Just I'll skip through this one very quickly, just because I'm conscious of time, but you can see there quite a massive jump of how many documents were fixed. So 95 were fixed last year, and 23-24, 473 documents were fixed. And as I say, poor contrast, no headings, and no alt text are the three biggest issues we've seen. Okay, so just a quick, some more numbers there. I'll move on. So what's next then? March 2024 to March 2025. What are we going to do? So we will need to run more training sessions. Specifically because we've changed to Blackboard Ultra, we now use Blackboard Ultra, which means that the user experience and the way that staff find Blackboard Ally is going to be slightly different. We will be running another campaign very soon, and we will, of course, be running another institution report. In the future, something we would love to do, and I know that some other institutions have already done this, create short courses for accessibility and also create a badging system, whether it could be staff nominating colleagues for accessible modules, well-designed modules, accessible materials, etc. So the good news is this is what we've got so far in 2024. just to say once again that we have been taking data from March to March, so not September to September. So from March 2024 up to now, October, you can see that there's a massive spike. People who, well, academics who launched the instructor feedback window, and the green line is the total number of fixes. We can see there that there's a huge jump. Once again, take it with a pinch of salt if you do choose to use Blackboard Ally, because it really depends on many things. And in this case, term has just started, so that's really going to influence. But I'm still happy, I'm thrilled to see that we do have staff using it and we do have staff making the fixes. Yeah, so I'm just going to close this presentation now. If there's a QR code on the screen for you, if you'd like to know more about our other projects, we've been working on decolonising the curriculum. So decolonisation, if you'd like to learn about some tips to make your learning environment more inclusive, give that a scan.
Thank you so much, Amy. That was really great. It's some really great interaction from the chat. It was really impressive to see how many fixes were made as a result of that. So yeah, it's a really good sign. So thank you.